1. Booty v. Barnaby. In 1687, a sea captain named Barnaby and his crew saw his neighbor chased into the flames of a volcano by a mysterious figure in black on the island of Stromboli. When he returned home to England, he found out that his neighbor, Mr. Booty, had died the same day. Barnaby was convinced he had seen Booty chased into hell. Mr. Booty's widow sued Barnaby for slander. She lost the case on the grounds that too many witnesses had in fact seen Booty chased into hell. 2. The ghost of Russell Colvin. Russell Colvin disappeared in 1812, leaving his brothers-in-law, the Bournes, in a pickle. Amos Bourne, the brother's uncle, claimed to have had dreams about Colvin's ghost. The ghost told Amos that his remains were hidden on the Bourne farm. The remains in question turned out to belong to an animal, but there were a few articles belonging to Colvin on the property that amounted to circumstantial evidence. The Bourne brothers' names were not cleared until Colvin returned alive 7 years later, just 1 month before the scheduled execution. 3. The Hammersmith Ghost. The Hammersmith area of London was on edge in January of 1804. The previous month, sightings of a ghostly apparition plagued the area, culminating in the death of Thomas Millwood. Francis Smith shot Thomas Millwood because, he claimed, he thought Millwood was the Hammersmith ghost. Millwood was dressed in all white clothing at the time of the shooting. He was accused of murder after much deliberation, and later pardoned, but the Hammersmith ghost was never seen again. 4. The Gray Man. The Gray Man might just spare your home in a hurricane, according to residents of Pawleys Island, South Carolina. Since 1822, residents have reported sightings of a spectral figure. Local legend says that he always appears before a major hurricane. Should you be lucky enough to encounter him, your home will be spared from the destruction, even if the surrounding homes get completely destroyed. The most recent sighting was in 1989 during Hurricane Hugo. However, after a local woman was advised to stay away from this area during a phone psychic reading in 2016, she decided to go anyway. She hasn't been heard from since. Rumors persist it has something to do with her spotting the Gray Man. 5. The Haunting Case of Stambovskis v. Ackley. Most suits involving haunted houses flounder in court. The case of Stambovsky v. Ackley was different. Helen Ackley claimed her house was haunted for years, going so far as selling her story to multiple media outlets. The only person she didn't tell, it seemed, was Jeffrey Stambovsky. Stambovsky bought the house in 1989. While he never reported seeing any signs of paranormal activity, the idea of living in a haunted house terrified his wife so much that he sued Ackley for fraudulent misrepresentation. The judges ruled that, as a matter of law, the house is haunted. 6. The Haunting of Lowe's Cottage. The Smiths bought Lowe's Cottage from two sisters in 1994. Their initial satisfaction faded as the house began to turn against them. They fled the cottage after the wife claimed a spirit had tried to rape and strangle her in her bed. They still owed the sisters £3,000. The sisters took the Smiths to court, where the Smiths filed a counter-suit against the sisters for not revealing that the house was haunted. The Smiths lost. 7. The Cock Lane Ghost. William Kent and his wife, Fanny, moved out of a house rented from Richard Parsons after a dispute over a loan. When Fanny died from smallpox shortly afterward, Parsons took the opportunity to take his revenge. He told the press that Fanny's ghost haunted the house. He staged seances where Fanny accused her husband of poisoning her with arsenic, drawing large numbers of crowds. Only when it was discovered that Parsons' daughter was responsible for the ghostly sounds was suspicion lifted from Kent and Parson forced to pay restitution. 8. The Montrose Airfield Ghost. Lieutenant Desmond Arthur died in a plane crash in 1913. The government ruled that Arthur was at fault for the crash, blemishing his record. His ghost, it appears, took offense. The personnel stationed at Montrose Airfield reported multiple UFO sightings of a ghostly pilot. They decided it was Arthur, back from the grave, to clear his name. The government reopened the investigation, freeing Arthur from blame. His ghost was never seen again. 9. The Ghost of James L. Chapin. James L. Chapin died in 1921 after a fall, leaving confusion about his will in his wake. After a few years of confusion, one of Chapin's 4 sons, James, challenged the will. He claimed to have been visited by Chapin's ghost. The ghost told James that there was another will, and gave him the clues he needed to find it. To everyone's surprise, he did. The will divided the farm equally between the family, and expert analysis concluded that the handwriting belonged to the dead man. 10. The Greenbrier Ghost. Zona Heaster-Shue died in her home in Greenbrier County, West Virginia, in 1897. Her death was ruled natural, and Zona was laid to rest as a victim of heart failure. Over the 4 nights following her daughter's death, Mary Jane claimed to have seen her daughter's ghost. Zona told her that her husband had killed her, breaking her neck in a fit of rage. Her body was exhumed, and an autopsy revealed her neck was indeed broken. Her husband was sentenced to life in prison, where he died.